Welcome back, everyone, to Tech Tuesdays. Kevin Hunter, Kyle Torgerson here at the broadcast desk on Northwest Digital News, and Harry Brelsford, of course, joining us remotely as always. We got a lot of good stuff on the show today. Harry, tell our viewing audience what's up here on Tech Tuesday.
All right. Well, before we get into good stuff, I do want to remind people it is April 30th, the end of the month. So do you know where your earnings are?
you should, yes.
Kids may not get that reference, Kevin. In our generation, there was, what was the TV news? It's 10 o'clock. Do you know where your kids are?
Yes.
So young people like Kyle won't understand that, but Kyle, I think you get it.
Yeah.
So, Kevin, interesting show today because I was looking at my calendar. Essentially, we're 9 months into Tech Tuesday, and I kind of decided that let's start to take a little bit different approach and bring in some industry guests. Quite frankly, much like we did with some of the live broadcast from the conferences that we attended together, like Smartsheet. Yep. And we need to do more of that. But so I have Ramey from Tech Reputation, and I'll bring him in a moment. But let me kind of set the table for those that might be new to this show, new to this network. Tech Tuesday is part of Northwest Digital News, and we tend to view Northwest Digital News with Kevin and Kyle as a B2B broadcast entity, a B2C broadcast entity, and SMB Nation is a slightly different audience. We are the managed services providers, the computer guys and gals. And in the real world, they're called channel partners. And so your audience, Kevin, the architect, the lawyer, the accountant, is going to have, and again, forgive the gender reference, but they're going to have the computer guy. Right. And that's our audience. And so with no further ado, I want to bring in Ramey from the Pacific Northwest in Anacortes, Washington. So Ramey, I want to first of all, thank you for joining us. And I want to turn the time clock back so people get perspective. So you are a current or former computer guy, and then you found out how to serve computer guys. Let's talk about that.
Thanks for the invitation, Harry. It's nice to be here. In fact, I'm one of your previous customers from many, many years ago, back when they printed books.
Amen.
My career is kind of half and half marketing and sales and carrying a bag and doing computer repair and break and fix out in the trenches, so to speak. And I worked back before they called the businesses MSPs. They were called system integrators back then.
Yep.
And so that's kind of a little bit of my background. 7 years ago, I purchased a break fix computer shop in Oak Harbor, Washington.
Yep.
And despite my due diligence, found out going in a few months that the shop just didn't have quite the reputation it was supposed to have had. Mm-hmm. And this was before there was a lot of ways to find reviews online. They just weren't out there yet. Google wasn't big into reviews. Yelp wasn't out yet. Or else, actually, Yelp was maybe just getting started, but they were just doing restaurants. And Amazon was just doing books. And so I needed to make some changes and fast. And so what I did is I utilized a service that wasn't really quite designed for my type of business, but it tied into QuickBooks and was automated enough to where I could get good reviews. Okay. And so my goal was get as many good reviews as I could so I could turn that shop around. And we did it. And in the next year, we tripled sales from the previous owner and changed the business name. And we had a great turnaround from using reviews, customer reviews.
Mm-hmm. And Ramey, if you don't mind, I want to talk about the power of reviews. As everybody on stage, as it were, knows, I'm involved and have been involved in some startups. And one of our startups was, it didn't work out, unfortunately. Welcome to the big leagues, but it was called Cloud Nation in 2011. And Ramey, one of our big pushes was reviews of emerging cloud technologies. And here's why. It's really good for driving traffic because you have user-generated content that's unique, so you're not getting the Google double penalty. And it's also scalable, right? Because I don't have to type every blog, right? So the customers are creating the content, and it's highly searchable, and hopefully it's highly favorable. But you know what? As they say, any news is good news. So, so Ramey, if you don't mind, with that background, tell us that you took this, would you call it a customer satisfaction surveying tool? You took it to another level because now you offer this service, right?
Well, it was a closed system, and that was the only negative about it. It didn't expose the reviews to your website and let you push them out to Google and so forth. So I dropped it for a while, and then as things began to change online as I was doing research, I found that there was more opportunities out there for software that was coming out and making it available to satisfy Google's need for more reviews and to satisfy the consumers that were using and relying upon reviews to make their decisions for purchasing services and products. So I found a solution that not only helped with managing and securing more reviews, but also helped with the management of all the directories out there where your business information and reviews can exist, because there's no way to manage that on a daily basis.
So the reputation management is what I'm hearing.
Reputation management and local SEO. Local SEO with the Google Maps. And the combination of reviews and citations from these directories is 25% of the ranking algorithm for your position. It's So it's like,
well, I'm going to sign up. I'm going to sign up later today for your service, brother.
Well, do you have a credit card number now?
He'll accept it right here on the show.
But please continue. Kevin has an analytics background. Ramey, you and I talked a few weeks ago, and so continue down that rabbit hole. That's very interesting.
What my job is now is to convince IT business owners that these three stats are going to affect their bottom line. 9 out of 10 of 18 to 34-year-old consumers trust online reviews as much as personal recommendations.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Consumers read an average of 10 online reviews before feeling able to trust a local business.
Yep.
57% of consumers will only use a business if it has 4 or more stars. There's tons more stats like that. So that's my job. I got to convince them that, hey, your reviews affect your bottom line, definitely. And so I went to my roots and figured out, what are the top 3 problems that IT business owners face when getting reviews? What holds them back? And the number one reason is time. Mm-hmm. They're too busy responding to fires and taking care of customers. It's just one more thing. It's not part of their marketing plan. They don't know how important it is. And the third reason is they're just nervous about asking every single customer when they shouldn't be.
Mm-hmm. There's a point that you made in here, Ramey, about even one of the lines was will not visit places of business below 4 stars. It's kind of an interesting thing because in the area that we're at and with all the electronics and everything that we use for our broadcast, even in looking up other pieces of equipment or new ways to make our broadcast even better, when I'm looking for referrals on electronic equipment for our broadcasts and even trying new things, and I'm in a position where obviously we could try things, send them back, whatever, but I don't even want to try them because I know I'm going to send them back if it's not at least 4.5 stars. So there's a lot of validity to how important that high rating is and the number of stars you're getting on reviews from anybody on your product.
Yep.
Yeah, you're right. Anything below 4 is just kind of subpar, our average.
Mm-hmm.
Well, gentlemen, if you don't mind, Ramey, I'm going to I'm going to hand you off to Kevin and Kyle. I have to start a forward motion to get out to Chicago for the Channel Pro event that we discussed last week on Tech Tuesday. So I hope you'll forgive me, but Ramey, I assure you, you're in good hands to do a double click down into your solution.
All right. Well, thanks, Harry, and we look forward to connecting with you at the event in Chicago. So,
all right. Have a nice week. Thank you, gents.
All right.
See you later.
Yeah, so let's talk about the fact that consumers, 9 out of 10 consumers trust online reviews. This actually, when people think, that's a 90% crowd, that actually is indicative of what percent of the population in any developed area of the world is relying on the internet for its news, information, education, etc. So it makes perfect sense that 90% of the people would be relying on an online review and trusting that before they proceed. Great stuff.
And it's telling us that word of mouth is changing too over the past few years. It used to be you would call up a colleague to see what kind of hardware maybe you'd want to try out. Now you go online, or your answer is in your pocket, in your phone. Computer repair near me, and then they pick one of the top 3 on the maps that have the most reviews, and then they pick up the phone and they click a button and they're instantly connected. That's the new shopping.
One of the components that you have here, and for those of our viewers who are following us, you can go to techreputation.com to find the information that we're referring to, and Kyle has included that on the stream here for us. Talk a little bit about intercepting negative reviews, because there's some people, whether they have a issue with a given place of business, sometimes it can be politically motivated. There can be a number of different reasons, but there are some places that are actually sabotaged by others deliberately with this negative review process. And I'm really curious if you can speak a little bit about the interception process and how you can help maybe turn that so-called negative situation into a positive situation, and how Tech Reputation does that.
Well, we've had to make some changes because Google made some changes. Google doesn't allow what's called review gating. And basically what that means is if a negative review comes in, you got to pass it through and let it go publicly to Google. It used to be that we could redirect the person to a landing page with a form on it saying, where did we fall short in serving you, and try to help resolve the issue there before it got published publicly.
Sure.
But today, the review gating is do at your own risk, because Google can see that you're doing that, and what they will do, and has been proven to do, is remove your reviews from your site, their site.
Got it.
So you have to be very, very, very careful in deciding whether or not we do, provide the option to do so, but there are risks involved.
Very good. So I want to, for the benefit of our viewers, I'm looking at 3 different packages that are available here through Tech Reputation. There's a bronze, a silver, and a gold. These are actually very inexpensive packages for anybody who understands the importance of maintaining and being on top of those reviews that are talking. So if you would, go into a little bit into each of the bronze, silver, and gold packages and really what's offered to the business through those 3.
The bronze is designed for the one-man shop, doesn't have any employees, working himself, and exports the customers from whatever system he's using to keep track of jobs, and then imports them into ours. So that's more of the manual way of doing things. When I designed this system to work with IT companies, I wanted to tie it into software that they're using now. And so that's the silver package. So for an extra $20 a month, well, when you close a trouble ticket, it will automatically talk to Tech Reputation, and then Tech Reputation will send out that email or a text message requesting a review automatically. That's the middle package. The gold package has everything that I just talked about from the silver, with the addition of all the online review directories, where in the same dashboard you enter your business information once, your address, your hours of operation, videos, pictures, and we push it out to all the directories that are important in Google's eyes.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a great time saver. It also helps you stay on top of your review. It's like having, hundreds of phone books out there where you can have your business information and places for people to write reviews.
Mm-hmm.
And if you need to make changes to your listing, for example, holiday hours, you make the change once in the dashboard and we push it out and synchronize it to all those sites. So it's a back-end API thing versus going and logging into each one manually.
Very nice. You can really manage all of those different platforms from one place.
And because all those platforms is tied in so closely with reviews on local SEO, I'm really in the reputation management / local SEO business, because they're so intertwined and as part of the, as I mentioned earlier, the Google algorithm as far as for ranking for sites in the local maps.
Mm-hmm. So for people that have any questions, or sometimes even in using a new software platform, you wonder, is this going to work for us, or how does this process work? You actually have a 14-day free trial that's connected to each of these packages.
14-day free trial, 30-day money-back guarantee. You're dealing with somebody that's, fellow IT owner. I understand your business like no other, and I help personally set up the system so that you get all the settings correctly for your business, and all the setups done together so that it's done right the first time.
I'm curious, from your perspective, having done this, when you mentioned that you're really in the reputation and SEO management type business, you've had to learn a lot about Google and Google algorithms. I'm curious, even from a SEO standpoint, any thoughts from your perspective as to some of the key mistakes that businesses are making relative to SEO or relative to reputation, key mistakes that you see they're making in managing their online visibility? Because even major companies, many major companies, really underestimate how important this is.
Just kind of burying their heads in the sand, sorry to say, about these citation sites, these directories. One way for Google to judge or figure out if a business is trustworthy is if all the information is correct out on the internet. And the tests that I run, I have a way of looking at a company's presence through all the directories, and the reports I run are consistently no information or old addresses, different phone numbers, and that just confuses Google. So to get back to your question, just being apathetic about the online directories in general is the biggest thing I see.
Well, great information, and I hope our viewers take this stuff seriously. Thanks for the time, Ramey, today to talk about this. And for anybody in our viewing audience, if you have questions, Kyle has shown the website here on the back. Techreputation.com is the website. You can also call a number. I'll give it here for you, 360-320-8748. Again, 360-320-8748. You can call that and get a live demo on Tech Reputation. But
that's right.
Having this being my sector in completely different pieces, but I understand 100% of what you're talking about, Ramey. I hope our viewing audience takes this very, very seriously, because this can be a game changer for businesses today, where so many people are going online now for their business choices. And you mentioned the stat about 9 out of 10 trust online reviews. Many people don't visit places that have less than a 4-star review. And many people read 4 or more reviews before they get into this. If you aren't taking this seriously, at some point, you're just going to be faced with closing the doors on the business, because that is the reality of what's coming when you're not managing your online reputation. So great stuff. glad you put together this package. And hey, thanks for making this so affordable for everybody.
That was another one of my goals. Integrate it with software that they're using, save them time, and make it affordable to any size company, any size IT business.
All right, our guest here on Tech Tuesday has been Ramey from Tech Reputation. Again, you can find him techreputation.com. Thanks to everybody who joined us here on the broadcast. On behalf of ourselves here at Northwest Digital News, Kevin Hunter and Kyle Torgerson, thanks to Ramey for joining us here on Tech Tuesday. Take care, everyone. This concludes today's live programming on Northwest Digital News. Thanks for joining us for this special broadcast. Heard around the world in more than 70 countries on YouTube, Instagram, Patreon, Facebook, and Twitch TV. If you enjoyed a story or guest we had here on Northwest Digital News and would like to strut your stuff on the broadcast, email us today at wainfo2017@gmail.com or call or text to 360-545-3501. We're always interested in unique stories, topics, and guests to share with our worldwide audience. Before you go, don't forget to give us a big thumbs up and comment on the live stream. And for those of you who'd like to financially support the broadcast, you can do so at patreon.com/Northwest Digital News. We thank you for your patronage. On behalf of Chris Bornstead, Kyle Torgerson, Stephanie Hunter, and all the people that made this broadcast possible, I'm Kevin Hunter. Till next time, take care.